Hi, my name is John Hounahan. We are here on day one of the GalapaGO 2015 trip with the Honors College of the University of Houston. I'm here with Kara Rife. Hi, Kara. What was your first impression of Ecuador and the city of Quito and just kind of coming into this new experience?
It's very built into kind of the mountainous landscape, which we don't get to see a lot of in Texas. Obviously, it's very flat where we come from.
The thing that's most notable is the elevation.
Well, my first impression was the airport, which was glorious. And then we came into the city, and there was a long bus ride, and we got to see all the scenics and seeing the city. And it's a much larger city than I expected it to be. I expected it to be like Houston, where there are some tall buildings and then like suburbs, and it's just all... The buildings are about the same height, but they're all at different altitudes. So hills are new for me.
Definitely the mountains was the first thing that I noticed. I don't know if that's a little cliche or like obvious, but as soon as the plane, as soon as the pilot on the plane was like, okay, we're coming in soon, I like was glued to the window. Just the lights at night and the neighborhoods built up in the mountains, it's incredible. And it's definitely not anything I've ever seen before.
First impression actually was flying into Quito when I looked out the window, and it was just super long, like, rows of just really neat streetlights, and I was like, wow, this place is really, really big, and like, you know, it looks really nice. And then we got out and we got in the airport, and I was like, wow, this airport's really freaking nice. Like, I expected
Such a nice airport.
Driving into Quito from the bus was a little scary. It was dark and everything was boarded up, so I was like, what did I get myself into? But you know, I think that impression completely changed this morning when I was able to see the city in full daylight. Yeah. It's a complete day and night change. Day and night change, indeed.
My first impression, honestly, the poverty was striking, but at the same time, a beautiful culture. And I think you typically see that actually when there's a little less wealth. You see the true heart of the culture that you're actually delving into.
My first impression of Quito, we've been staying in Old Quito, and so there are vendors on every street just built into the buildings, which is amazing. They open up shop in the morning, close it down in the afternoon, and it gets to the point really where they all start to blend together. You just see the same toy vendors, you see the same candy vendors,
Berries.
Chocolate vendors, which have been amazing.
Oh, the chocolate. Are you kidding? Did that just happen in the middle of what? Yes, we're filming. Oh, we can do it again. That's why I threw my hat down in surprise.
What happened?
He just goes, we're losing by 1 with 15 seconds to go. John, you're not doing anything, so I'll let you know. Okay, so question 2. What was your highlight for day 1? I know we did a lot. So
We did. I think my favorite part was when we ended up at a coffee shop. We had walked past it through one of the walking tours earlier, and then we had some downtime and said, let's go back there. It smelled amazing. So we did. And what happened was we were given a little milk carafe of some liquid, and we didn't know what it was. And you identified it as agave nectar. And we were later handed 5 glasses of hot water. And there was a minute where we all just kind of sat there going, something has gone very wrong.
it didn't smell like coffee.
And this is when we figured out that the little milk jug was actually super concentrated, delicious coffee. And
Still did not smell like coffee.
it was
Granted,
such good
it didn't
coffee.
smell like agave nectar.
It did not smell like agave nectar.
It didn't smell like coffee either,
So that
so I
coffee,
just kind of went with it.
That coffee is the highlight of my day so far.
Well, we saw a lot today. We saw a lot of churches. We saw church/school, which was pretty cool. Got to see the equator, which was awesome. But actually, the highlight of my day was waking up, and I actually came up here early in the morning around maybe 6:30, and no one else was out here, and it was still kind of like dewy and wet, but the sun was up, and it was just super, super beautiful, and the air was great. So I just sat down, I got to journal a little bit.
Oh, I think getting up early, and I was up here actually on the terrace with Logan and Josh this morning, and being able to see Quito in the daylight. It's spread out before you. It's beautiful.
Number one highlight was getting lost in Quito. So you don't have fun until you get lost and actually start exploring.
The best part was when we got our free time to explore and walk around the city on our own and get a little bit lost and just kind of not be on the schedule for a little bit.
I think just wandering around all the little stuff that you don't plan on doing.
I think the most striking thing I took from today was at the monastery we visited. The painting of Plato and Aristotle, where Aristotle is holding a Bible, which I thought was phenomenal.
Probably when Hamilton caught me on the GoPro explaining the mechanics of being being uncircumcised and how that helps with the penis fish. But apparently, I just found out, thanks to Frankino, like 5 minutes ago, that the penis fish is bullshit.
Penis fish is a myth. Question number 3, final question is, if someone were to take this trip next year or next year, what piece of advice, what one thing would you say to them?
Oh, if you're going to do dives in the Galapagos, get started on that early. It was pretty stressful fitting all my dives in during finals week.
Pack light, have an open mind, probably brush up on your Spanish before you come, because that's been the struggle for me, is like being too hesitant to interact with people.
Be open-minded. Don't stick to the plan. I don't know. I hate plans. So be willing to just veer off the chart.
I suppose coming to Quito, preparation would be needed. I think you should work on your breathing exercises prior to the trip.
Just be prepared. Like, don't show up like without a toothbrush or without your, if you have motion sickness, don't show up without your meds. Just common sense stuff like that.
I would say come in with an optimistic mind frame, definitely. I didn't hear too much complaining today, which was good, but a little bit. And I think this is day 1. We have 9 days to go, and with any trip, it's important to keep the positive vibes going, because you're with these people a lot, and we're gonna be tired and hungry, but that's okay, because it's worth it. So be optimistic. Come in just ready to enjoy yourself.
What was your highlight of day 1 with all of the things that we did?
This is the highlight of day 1. I've been standing on the other side of the camera listening to the students talk about their highlights, and this is not vacation for me, right? This is what Dr. Frankino and I are doing here is trying to deliver a really great student development experience and a really great introduction to the biology in this part of the world and the culture in this part of the world. So I just listened to, 5 or 6 students say really amazing stuff. And in most of it I agree with the exception of Wade Tao, of course.
This is caught somewhere. There's a bunch of people having a party up in our room.
In our room?
Yeah.
Who?
Frankino, Greg, Nick, Grace. Yeah.
In our
room.
Hey, hello everybody.
We haven't started. You're crazy. I'll start.
Oh.
Insane.
Alright.
So a good piece of advice and a sea of penis fish. All right. Thank you so much, Wade. Well, that was a train wreck.